Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 144 of Pokerole. After a minor crash hiccup, because we've been having those. Thank you for waiting, audience. We are back, and we're gonna have, what looks like we're gonna have another town episode, which after all the stuff that's been happening in the episodes before this, that's probably a really nice palate cleanser at this point. So, that would be a nice time. But, of course, before we begin, if you like the video, do think about giving a like to the video. And if you want to subscribe, think about doing that as well, because it helps a lot. And if you really want to help out and just be, social and hang out and, add feedback actively, think about coming over to Twitch and hanging out with us here, because that's really cool. It's great to have people. I noticed our viewership for today's Pokerole is a little lower. I wonder if it's because of the crash. I hope people come back. But yes, think about coming by and add to the numbers. It's always great to have more people hanging out. And we do like to talk to them, so it's not just random numbers. We do care about that. There's also a Discord server you can check out for the main content, and you can check out the Pokerole Discord server off of it. There's a link in it. There's also a coffee link if you want to help directly monetize the content, a merch store that exists if you want to buy cool little things, physical things. And, of course, there's also a wiki for our game over at Mirahis, and you can go check that out too if you want to get episode recaps, character descriptions, and all sorts of other things. So yeah, check those things out if you are interested. And before we fully begin, there's one more thing I want to add on, and this has nothing to do with our game, but it's a cool thing. Let me get the image I've got for it. I made a little image for this. Where is it? There it is. So check this out. Just recently, a new browser game released, and I wanted to promote it just a little bit here because I feel like it's a good place to do it. This is... Let me expand it a bit. This is Valtoria. It's a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon browser game you can play with your friends. And it just came out. They're still working on it. There's content up to level 10 right now. And it's really cool. And I think that everybody would care a lot about this. It is like a traditional browser game where you have energy and you gather it each day and then you can do things and you come back the next day. It's kind of a retro style thing at this point because browser games like that aren't very popular anymore. But I heavily recommend people look this up. I'll link to it in the description in just a minute. While during the recap, I'll put it in the link to the description. But it's a really cool thing, and I'm not going to read all this, but you can see for yourself. This is its dropping page, and you can make a character and stuff. And if you want to add me, I'm Tucker. That's my name. Go figure. And you can check that out. So it's still in development. They just got started on it, but I recommend people check it out. I'll put a link in the description of both the video description for the YouTube video, as well as in the chat just a minute. But yeah, all that being said, that's my intro, and I hope everybody on the table is doing good too.
Indeed. Having a good time.
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kyrio is still going to be micless today because of the power issue that I think was mentioned publicly. Basically, his place has no power right now, and he's staying in France. So hopefully that gets resolved soon, because that was a big mess. Sounds like, and I wish Kyrio luck on it.
Yeah, I honestly do hope that gets resolved soon, because I'm starting to be quite concerned for you, Kyrio. I'm very glad that you have a friend who is helping.
God, you must say it should be today. Well, I hope it is.
I hope so. Hopefully later today you are home in nice comfort of your own space.
Yeah.
Sad.
Woo. Alrighty. I do have a quick thing I want to open with because I thought I was 4 XP off, but I'm actually not. I have exactly what I need. Bringing Brawl up to 3 and Insight up to 4. I think Insight controls special defense, right?
Yes, it does.
Excellent. Bringing Insight up to 4 and Brawl up to 3, which will be exactly all my XP.
Oh, so
I thought I needed 4. I thought I needed 4 more, but I didn't.
Oh, is this what you wanted to do at the end of last session, but said you couldn't do?
Yes. I thought I couldn't do it. I thought my math was off just as.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm over at your sheet now. So what did you have?
I added one more insight from 3 to 4, and brawl from 2 to 3.
Oh, neat. Does insight add into any of your number stats? I can't remember.
Yes, it does.
Special defense.
Well, not 420. There you go.
That's a good idea, because that makes your special defense a little bit, because now it's no longer your weakest defense. Now they're even.
Indeed. 4/4, which is nice. And there was some other reason I wanted insight, but I forget what it was. I'll probably remember whenever I use the stat.
I think it makes sense that a psychic type Snorlax should have some decent special defense. So hello, Starcry. Yes, this is Pokerole. It is a TTRPG system for Pokemon and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Yep, very cool. It's very cute.
I am very apologize for delays, though. I hope everybody is doing well.
Also, speaking of recaps, as I put into the chat, huge thanks to Enio, being the miracle worker that they are, having made so many recaps for all of the sessions. Doing wonderful work, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Enio has been, for years, Enio has been very helpful and very dedicated to the game. Thank you for that. And thank you for everyone who's been dedicated to the game. And thank you to new viewers, which eventually will see this video. We've gotten some comments recently of people going at the episode 1 or 0 and saying like, oh, this looks really cool. Time to binge. And I'm just like, wow, these guys are heroes, because that's a lot. That's a lot to binge. So if when they get to here, thank you for binging. Please do so responsibly.
Yes, please. But I understand the suffering when you find a series that you enjoy and then you have to wait a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks for the next session to appear. And so we have 5 years of content, so you can just continue to listen day after day after day and enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. And just to say out loud, I did post the link. I'll post it a second time. But here's that Pokerole game. I do recommend people checking it out. It's one of those browser games that you have to wait on energy, so you have to build it up and then play. So you play it over time. But it seems really cool so far. I'm going to play more later, too. I only played for a little bit.
Oh, man. Wait till you guys get to session 226. That one's a doozy.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, I should probably make use of the lovely recap that Enio wrote for us.
And I'll share some art.
Also, minor note to any new people, especially those who may be seeing this episode first or witnessing us live. The first, I think it's 10 episodes or so, I have not... Kyrio did not have voice, but I was also not voicing Brooke at the time, and there was a lot of us responding to Kyrio's little thing in the chat, so it's not as easy to listen to as it is to watch, so I do apologize for that. It's just a really obvious thing in retrospect.
It's okay. It's been years, so we all had a lot to learn, and eventually it turned to a perfect podcast format. Oh, me too. I have something to apologize for, too. I just remembered. Last episode of this Pokerole, I've been having a little trouble with XSplit's noise suppression. It's been randomly turning off of me, and it seems like it happens when I don't... If I specify the microphone that I want to suppress, then it keeps turning it off. And if I just say default device, it keeps it on. So anyways, last Pokerole had that off, so I'm sorry for any background noise. Fortunately, I usually mute if I'm not talking, so it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, that's why there is background noise, and it should be gone today. That's all my apologies. Thank you.
Okay. Last time was session 143, Licking Wounds. Following Mawile's suggestion to find shelter for the night, Brooke marches ahead of the team and guides them to where Oranguru and the Passimians lived. However, when they arrive, they notice that there was still no sign of the simian Pokemon, and even their homes seem vacant of belongings. Tucker attempts to locate them via scent, and is able to discern that no one has been in the village for at least a few hours. Ralph suggests that they may have migrated somewhere, but Mawile explains that Oranguru and Passimian weren't the sort of Pokemon to migrate, considering their duty of guarding the ruins. The party's concerns of where they could have gone only grow, but they recognize rest took priority, and they set up camp within the village for the night. As the party prepares to rest, Ryda asks Tucker if he could hand them the shards of their orb he'd been carrying for safekeeping. Tucker collects the shards from his bag into a cloth and gives them to Ryda, who takes the cloth and sighs in relief as they thank Tucker for his help. The party rests, and the night passes uneventfully, granting them a slight peaceful reprieve from what had just occurred. As everyone else sleeps, Ryda wakes up to check everyone's condition before spending time on their own to look at the collection of shards with tears in their eyes. The next morning, everyone slowly wakes up, Ralph noticing that Mawile had seemed to leave already. Assuming she had left to check the ruins, he walks back to the observatory and sees her trying to examine the doors. Ralph expresses surprise at how they are still remaining open in the day, and Mawile laments that they are unable to shut the doors now, meaning the text inside could be at threat of being stolen and damaged, especially without their guardians around. The two agree to try and set up a barricade to block the door, using some of the wood from the now unused huts. Meanwhile, Tucker checks Ryda's condition and recommends reapplying their bandages, which they go over to Brooke to assist them with. As Ryda sees Brooke tend to their injury, they see the wound on their chest for the first time, and ponders how lucky it was for them to have survived. As they tend to the injuries, they hear as Ralph and Mawile start tearing apart Orangaru's hut, and learn about their plan to block the open door to protect all of the items inside. Hearing this, they all suggest to the two that it might be preferable to just notify the library and ask them to transfer all of the text there for safekeeping. When they make the suggestion, they are contacted by Mewtwo via psychic projection. Mewtwo asks what the party had been doing due to becoming unable to track them for 3 days as they were within the ruins. The party informs them of the laboratory underneath the ruin, the machinery that they'd found in there, and what had happened with the Observer. Mewtwo is surprised by this, having believed any traces of such technology would have been lost to time or destroyed by now. The party asks if Mewtwo would be able to ask someone from the library to travel there and take away the items, but Mewtwo is cautious of the idea, seeing as it would require a lot of explanation to even most of the Pokemon in the library, due to its complexity and origins. In opposition, Ryda suggests it would be preferable just to destroy everything in there to keep it out of the Observer's clutches. However, Mewtwo informs the party that what had happened with the automaton, based on what they could glean from Brooke's retelling, would be highly unlikely to happen again. What the Observer did was implant something comparable to the party's aspects to some degree, and the likelihood of them having enough to justify using it on other machinery in the lab seemed incredibly low at best. The party still asks if someone would at least come to collect the books inside, and Mewtwo relents and says they'll see if anyone would be motivated enough to go out of their way to head to the ruins and do that. However, they still recommend blocking off the underground laboratory, just in case. The party agree to those terms, and Mewtwo leaves them be. As the party return to the ruins, they mull over what they could have learned about the limitations of the Observers from what happened. Namely, the fact that they required the party to open the door to the lab, and how they seem to require the party to defeat the Lucario automaton, rather than defeating it themselves. Focusing on the first fact, Ryda suggests they try to take off a piece of the material from the secret door in the lab, thinking it may be a material which the Observers may be unable to interact with for whatever reason. However, attempting to damage the wall to get a piece of the door's material achieved little useful results. Further, simply trying to force the door shut to at least reseal it was proving troublesome, as even Ralph's psychic power was unable to move it. Deciding to simply try to block the exit, the party moves some of the bookshelves to hide the hidden entrance. While the party does this, Brooke lingers in the observatory room, left alone with his thoughts, outside of Lyre, who tries to cheer him up with aromatherapy. As the party comes back upstairs to find him, Ralph tries to help him refocus by mentioning that their next course of action would probably be to report back to Pangoro. Brooke agrees, deciding that it was probably better to fill him in on everything that happened, rather than attempting to continue to Mesa. Considering their low rations, Ryda agrees to try to use teleport in order to bring the group back to Savantown, with Ralph and Brooke assisting via psychic power and the power of augmentation respectively. Through their joint contributions, the party is able to teleport to their base, startling a nearby Squirtle. who runs over to hug Brooke before hurrying off to show the team the payment they received from V. Brooke hears the sound of a hammer and looks out the window to see Blaze working at the forge. As Brooke leaves to check out what he's doing, Rita soon collapses, having been incredibly drained by the teleportation in their current state. Tucker suggests to Rita to rest in Riley and Lizard's room for now, seeing the two are still in sea spray, and that he'll bring them some food to help them recover. After making sure Rita is able to rest, he leaves to collect Puppy from the spa. Meanwhile, Ralph heads to the orchard to suggest his idea of attempting to grow noodle fruit from the prairie, with Mawile following behind him for support. Gosh, you guys got a lot done last time. As Ralph arrives at the orchard, he shows off an example of the noodle fruit, explaining how the food already grows in the current climate, making them ideal for growing until the town is able to get better access to water. Simisage and Simipore are hesitant to the suggestion, having had unpleasant experiences from trying the fruit themselves, but accept that anything would be better than nothing. They take the seeds from the fruit Ralph provides and get to work with planting them in the field, with Laurentis now offering assistance taking care of the plants as well. Left with the thoughts of how the townsfolk could better become accustomed to the fruits when they are ready, Ralph and Mawile decide to head to the clubhouse to ask Rise about any potential recipes that the fruits could be used for. While Tucker makes his way to the spa, he notices the residents looking at him in confusion, prompting him to explain to them about his new evolution. When he enters the spa, Miltank greets him as if he were a new customer, and he notices that Puppy was sat nearby until they recognize Tucker's scent, and charge into him excitedly. Miltank apologizes for his behavior, and then Tucker explains to her that it was him, which shocks her as she hears that he managed to evolve without visiting the Cave of Mirrors. Crocodile, meanwhile, remarks on how the Mighty Yetta seems to be fine, which leads the two to squabble a little bit, while Tucker continues to look down at Puppy. Tucker soon notices Puppy trying to say words rather than just barking, with Miltank explaining how she had been trying to teach him to speak, though they only know a few words at the moment. As Tucker begins to leave with Puppy, Miltank warns them that they have still been unable to find a chew toy that could properly withstand Puppy's teething habits, showcasing a set of mangled bones that seem to show traces of Puppy attempting to use elemental fangs on them. She advises Tucker that it may be best to find a tutor to help Puppy learn to better control their fangs, mostly to stop them from accidentally hurting themselves with their own moves. He thanks them for their help and promises to try to look for someone who could possibly help, and to try and find a new place where Puppy can be where they won't pose a danger to anything when they try testing their biting. As he takes Puppy with him to the clubhouse to get food, Tucker notices a number of guild members lingering around, seeming probably more relaxed than they were with Chatot lingering about. When Brooke exits the team's clubhouse and approaches the forge, he sees the Charizard incredibly focused as they are hammering away at some sort of blade. Not wanting to break his concentration, Brooke decides to stand back and idly watch, trying to pick up whatever knowledge he could from seeing the forging at work. He notices Blaze pausing at intervals before blasting the blade with white flames, as if aiming to imbue it with some sort of energy. Eventually, he notices Brooke and tells him to come over and help him by blasting the blade with his Ice-type moves. Brooke is happy to oblige and follows the Charizard's instructions, blasting it with energy whenever he orders it. As the process comes to a close, Brooke is able to look at the blade more closely, recognizing the items he'd asked Blaze to make the dagger out of. With a slam of Blaze's hammer, the sword seems to shatter into a more dagger-like appearance, and he places the dagger into a set of tongs before requesting Brooke to hold it in the forge for 10 seconds. As Brooke pulls it back out, he notices the blade emitting a bright glow, and Blaze tells him to bring it back over to resume the process. When they do, Brooke witnesses as the dagger reforges into the full blade again. He then shatters it again, hands it to Brooke, and tells him to dick it. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Mouth, for running ahead of myself.
It's okay.
And tells them to dip it into a vat of oil he'd prepared. After pulling it back out, he then explains that all that would be left to do is cleaning it off and giving it a name. As he looks at the dagger, he expresses excitement, finding working on his dagger much more preferable for him than when he had to work on Rita's scythe. Then, with little more than a left or right, he cuts one of Brooke's hands, it says wrist in here. It is important that it is hand.
Oh, that should probably be changed. That's a bit different.
That is very important. And tells him to let a few drops of his blood fall upon the weapon for traditional purposes, declaring it as Brooke's own weapon. Brooke is then left with the question of what to name it, which he eventually settles upon the name Diamond Shot. The two then idly banter, Blaze letting Brooke know about how things in town have begun to calm down, as Chatot's examinations relaxing after the week they've been here. The two then also talk about Blaze's work, with the Charizard showing some amount of relief and being able to resume his old trade again thanks to the team's new forge, and he offers to craft any more weapons if the team need any. Then, he lets Brooke know that a certain someone had arrived in Savantown and wanted to speak with Team Cheer. He doesn't say who it was, but lets them know that he will probably return in a few days, having left to go to the prairie for a bit. Blaze decides to finish up cleaning around the forge, and Brooke begins to make his way to the clubhouse, his fancy new dagger in tow.
Good recap.
Except for the enormous blunder. Ignore it.
When you talk so much on the recap, you have so many words you have to say. I'm surprised you don't get tongue-tied more often. I think I would.
Trust me, I've made a funnier slip-up before. My players can attest where I tried to say fox, but it came out and sounded like something else.
Well, I think Charm's pronunciations of some words have been made fun of too. The only thing I thought of when you said the blunder was wrong sword. But anyways, it's one thing I would like to stress. So, there's one addition that I noticed that wasn't in that recap that I feel personally is important and would love to have it added in. If I remember correctly, it said the part where the puppy started saying words, but I don't think it specified that. Didn't Puppy specifically say mama to Tucker?
Yes, Puppy called Tucker mom.
Yeah, that needs to be in the recap. That's important.
Yeah,
That melted Tucker's heart.
Oh man, we all getting strange weapons. This is pretty cool. Strange, shiny new weapons. Well, not strange per se, but shiny new fancy in-game weapons.
Yeah, I guess maybe
Some
you
of
should
us
work
losing
with
ours.
If you, I wonder, is Ralph going to use the
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna use the fuck out of it. I picked like, I essentially probed for the idea like, this need any work, and he's like, nah, I don't need any work. And I took another look at it. Of course it doesn't. It's a statted, ready to go weapon.
Yeah, the only thing is you can't fire it right now.
Yeah, I can't fire it, but I can still bash things over the head with it.
Oh yeah, you, Brooke, and Tucker can use it because of your high stats. You need at least 4 strength to be able to wield this thing.
Oh wow. It makes sense for him to use it because psychic. I don't know. Would he get stabbed with it?
I don't think you can get stabbed with weapons.
I can do stab with it.
You can do stab. I don't think you get stab with weapons, unfortunately. Okay. I would need to look that up. That is an obscure little thing, I know. That might actually be in the Pokerole.
Yeah, I think no stab is what left because they're not an imbued ability, so they don't get to stab. They don't. Get
my taser specifically says you don't get stabbed. I'm pretty sure my spear specifically said I don't get stabbed.
Yeah, I didn't put it on that because I forgot, but yeah, weapons don't get stabbed by default.
Okay.
The way the boss was using it, they were actually using the weapon to augment their moves, which is why so many of their physical moves were able to knock you back.
Well, I mean, they're a robot, so they can just be like, the sword is part of me now. Because I locked it in.
Yes, you should have an item card for the dagger now. Is that in anywhere? Because I remember
you in your DM bag.
Check the DM bag. If it's not there, I don't think I ever got it. Let me check, though.
No, there's something else in there, though. I think Kyrio
I can check. I know where I put it. It's in the Pokerole folder. There's a folder, and it'd be there if you gave it to me. And if it's not there, you didn't give it to me. Let me see.
Okay. I don't know that it'll be a huge deal right this second, but so long as you have it, and we can make a card out of it at
Let's
some
see.
point.
It would be in this folder. No, you never gave it to me.
Okay. Then at some point, Kyrio is going to need to give you the images for that, because I know it's a two-sided.
I did actually, I the other day, I didn't actually, because it was spoilered, I somehow missed the thing posted in the Pokerole chat, like a couple weeks ago, that Kyrio presented. I actually didn't see that until just the other day, and then I forgot again because I was busy. So I saw that, I was like, oh, I wonder if there's cards for that, but I never asked. But, yeah, if somebody, I could get those on the table pretty quickly if somebody gives me the card. If somebody gives me the image, I can make a card real fast. Or 2 cards in this case, because there's 2. Let's see. Let me grab, okay. So, Kyrio, I guess, I'll turn Telegram back on. You can Telegram me those things. And... oh, why is that not open? Okay, there it is. Okay, those are basically... they're item cards, but they're like... I'll make it out of a move card, though, because it's kind of tall.
Yeah, that's fine. I know that Kyrio has the separate images somewhere, but... again, it's not a huge deal right this very second.
Oh, sure. I'm just gonna just ignore these double water guns. I'm putting them right here just for use. I'm gonna use them later. Oh, that's the only version? Okay, don't worry. I can make that work. I will work on that in the background. Thank you very much, Kyrie.
Super duper.
Oh, there's one last little thing before we start present session. There was actually one more image I wanted to show, but it's a GIF, so I can't put it on the table because GIFs won't show up on the table. So I have to do with this, a superpost. So I just wanted to share this too. Recap commissioned itssamk for this image of Brooke needing a break, which they probably do after everything. So I just wanted to share that.
Haha, nice.
Oh,
Oh, it's adorable.
I think it was posted on the Pokerole server too. If not, I'll post it later.
Pretty sure it is, and that's where I saw it.
Yeah, I think that's where I got it from.
Gosh, it's gonna be amazing to like look back at all this art in like retrospect.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That. Shall we proceed, Par?
Yes, we may proceed. So, let's see, where were we with everybody? Ralph and Mawile, we're going to the clubhouse. Brooke going to clubhouse. Ryda currently recuperating. I believe Tucker had a goal of getting Ryda and Lyre some food.
Yes.
Where are you going to be doing that?
It probably makes the most sense to go to the cafe or the clubhouse, because who makes better food in town than Rice? They could probably come up with a really good thing to help. What's that?
Maybe hot dog.
Hot dog makes good food too, but he just pulled a big cart. I'll give him a break. And Rice probably knows a good recipe for something that will help Ryda, because Ryda's in pretty bad shape. So maybe some really good chicken noodle soup or something.
And I know just where the noodles can come from.
Oh god, no.
Gosh.
Oh wow.
Oh gosh. Noodle fruit noodles. Oh dear.
Gotta go recruit the
And
noodle
Ryda
guy,
died of
the
food
guy
poisoning.
that makes the noodles. He could help with the noodle fruits.
The noodle hat.
Do you want a pasta
Noodle,
wig?
noodle fruit hat. Oh my god. We,
Oh no, I gave him bad ideas.
Oh no, this meme is growing out of control. Alright, so, I'm gonna say that since Brooke's thing probably... No, Brooke's thing probably did not take the least amount of time. It probably is... So, Ralph and Mawile are going to get to the clubhouse first. Their thing took the least amount of time. All you guys had to do was go to the orchard and do some minor convincing.
That makes sense.
Okay.
And I just, since you asked about me first, Tucker basically has two goals: get food, not just for Ryda and Lyra, but also for himself. He hasn't eaten much. He is actually low-key kind of like extremely hungry because evolution and new appetite and stuff. There hasn't really been able to be time to eat for a while. So bigger body, much bigger, much more food need. Kind of the opposite of Ralph, actually. Evolve, get hungrier.
Alright, and we can swap to locale 20.
Okay.
Alright,
And I guess the other thing is that Tucker needs to figure out. Oh, what about Puppy? Where are we gonna bring Puppy that's safe and helps him?
mm-hmm.
That's a big thing that Tucker has to think about too. Okay.
And yes, Rise has not seen Tucker, so
Yes,
that'll be
indeed.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, Ralph's gonna keep it under wraps at first as he confidently approaches the counter. Just kind of assuming Rise is there, but he usually is, so.
They are there.
Excellent. How's it going, my four-legged feline friend? Boy, howdy, has a lot of stuff happen. And I shall lean a little bit on the counter. And it looks like things have been calming down here.
Rise, wiping down the counter, just opens one eye in that sort of feline manner to look up at Ralph. I didn't think that you'd be home so soon. Welcome back.
We took a shortcut. Anyway, are you tired of cooking the same stuff day in and day out while chat-tots screech at you? Well, have I got the solution to you? As we speak, a new crop is being tilled, sowed, a new crop is being cultivated in our orchards. And I'm gonna put the noodle food on the counter. Blammo!
Mawile does little jazz hands as she hops up to take a seat. She's trying to be very assistive.
Yes. Indeed.
Hey, Ralph.
It falls, yeah.
Do you want to make the first roll of the game?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Go ahead and give me a cool contest perform. And then you can proceed with the rest of your pitch.
It falls on the farmers to farm the bestest noodle fruits that they can. But it falls on you to come up with new recipes for this delicious miracle food. I'm gonna give them the food.
As Mawile continues to do like the wiggle fingers and like the sliding her arms back and forth, just trying to emphasize the noodle fruit in every way, shape, or form possible.
Yeah, and then I'll kind of continue in a more serious tone. It's like, yeah, I figured, why are we, running on a treadmill, going crazy, trying to grow all sorts of fruits and vegetables that just don't grow here, and why are we not selectively breeding what already does grow here,
Mawile, sorry, not Mawile. Rise listens to this. His eyes slide over to the noodle fruit, eyebrows raising as he continues to listen, waits until you finish. Because nobody wants to eat something with a slimy texture. He smiles. Trust me, I have tried. Well, to be fair, I tried once, because they only brought it to me once. Honestly, you'd think that none of the Pokemon here had seen squash before.
I shrug. Yeah, I mean, if they selectively breed it, they can just keep replanting the seeds from the least slimy fruit.
You see, that's what I thought. But I'm not exactly a farmer. If anything, this would be a good source of hydration. It's not like watermelons grow out in the plains, as he waves a paw somewhat dismissively.
I mean, I think they taste fine.
No offense, Ralph, but you are a Snorlax. That's not exactly a glowing recommendation.
Well, I did. Anyway, I'm waiting on the rest of my team. We got a lot to report back to Mr. Bango Dango.
Well, good luck to you then. I'll see what I can do with this new acquisition.
Indeed, indeed.
And then they frown a bit. Let's see what... Oh, hey, wait, they have stats. I can use their stats.
Yes, that's...
Ooh. Are they analyzing, like, my sword or something?
Oh, I wonder how... I bet Rise has said stats for a long time. I don't wonder if we've ever used her stats for things before.
I have.
We fought them.
You did?
Or no, we only fought Pango, didn't we? It was like a sparring match, but we fought Pango.
Correct.
I do remember that.
You fought Pangoro, and his defenses are so high you have to team attack him.
We
Let's
haven't
see.
fought Rise yet.
Rise has had stats forever.
Ye-
I'm going to have to adjust them, methinks.
That's fair.
Maybe.
DM can always
Let's
adjust.
see. Insight, survival, alert. Of course, that's almost maxed. Too many dice for such a roll. Alrighty. Are you alright, Ralph? They sort of put their front paws on the countertop, sliding the noodle fruit just off to the side. You don't look particularly... your usual self.
I kind of tilt my head. Well, I mean, we did have a pretty hard, a pretty hard adventure, and we fought a real tough guy, and he kind of just dodges the question, like, oh, it was a tough battle, and we're rough and tough pioneers, we go through this stuff all the time.
They fix Ralph with a very feline stare. Well, if you say so. Look after him, won't you, Mawile? After all, I'd hate to lose one of our best up-and-coming pioneers. They flash a smile and snatch the noodle fruit up with their tail and go to try and cook it somehow.
Yeah.
Mawile smiles brightly and just pats Ralph on the elbow, because she's at roughly that height right now.
Nice.
No worries. I'll make sure he doesn't get into any more trouble.
Yeah, I never get into trouble.
Of course not. We get into trouble together.
Oh, I love you, babe.
Oh, I love you too. Hot dog gagging in the background.
Oh gosh, that is great.
Several other pioneers rolling their eyes. Because you two are just that gushy. And it's wonderful.
Oh gosh, I'm thinking the exchange ends in like one of those open mouth, just nom kisses.
Oh gosh. Avert your eyes, young children. PDA, PDA.
That makes me think of the Wireless from Home webcomic did in April Fools. That makes me think of exactly that.
But yeah, I figure we're probably gonna wait for our team leader to arrive before going up to make the report with him.
Sensible. Also means that Brooke can handle any yelling Pangoro has to do.
Yelling. We got a lot of good stuff to report.
This is gonna be a weird report, because did we report everything?
Yeah. we just kind of keep waiting for him to calm down and then drop the next bit.
But wait,
Well,
there's
actually,
more.
I don't think we... Actually, I'll mention this in character when Brooke gets there, so never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, show don't tell.
Yeah, I'm just... At, like, IRL, I'm just nodding my head and smiling, going, yep, yeah, lots of good news. Totally.
Like corpse things, Dad, we checked on Mawile's thing. Nothing terrible went horribly wrong. And now we're back.
Kyrio, I will say that Tucker does arrive before Brooke.
Okay.
Because I'm realizing that the process of smithing will
It's
take
not
you
short.
a while.
Yes.
Even though it's... Well, even though it's, like, at the end of it, it's going to take enough time doing all that Brooke is probably going to be the last to arrive.
And narratively, it makes sense, too.
To which point, Tucker, you're going to the clubhouse, right?
Yes.
You enter the clubhouse, and there are eyes on you. You are a new person who is somehow wearing a pioneering badge. Some of the pioneers, however, do notice Puppy in tow as they are keeping up beside you very energetically, I might add. Like, if you pause for even a second, they are hopping in place. They are doing the little paw bouncy tippy taps.
Adorable.
So, but those that notice Puppy beside you go back to minding their own business, because they know who Puppy is supposed to, like, for lack of a better word at the moment for me, belong to. So it's like, okay, that tracks. Going back to what we were doing. But yeah, what do you do, Tucker? Rise is currently trying to cook something.
And I'm guessing Ralph and Marwell are there too already. So, well, Tucker will stand up straight and make sure that his badge can be flashed. Not to be, like, egotistical, but just to make it clear that he's not causing any trouble and he's somebody that's supposed to be here. But he is a little bit on the anxious side, seeing everybody look at him, but keeps his cool and walks over to the counter where Mawel and Ralph are. Not immediately saying hello to Rice, since Rice seems pretty busy in the middle of cooking something. And Tucker will go, hey guys.
Ah, good to see you, good to see you. I delivered the noodle fruit to the orchard, and they'll be growing it. The cat out will be so proud of us. It's gonna be great.
I doubt
Well,
that
as
bird
proud
could be
as-
proud of anything.
Yeah, I was actually about to say, at least as proud, as much pride as he's capable of. But sure.
Rise, swaying a bit from side to side. They have one ear perked to listen to the conversation. Is that you, Tucker? Are you sick? You sound different.
Nah, he just put on a little weight.
It doesn't change your voice, Ralph.
No, Rice. I evolved.
They stop what they're doing. Luckily, this is not one of those cartoons where the pan drops to the floor or anything. But the ears have perked up. And there's a few moments where they're quiet. They've stopped the whole playful swaying thing. And they move the pan to a burner that is not on. Yes, very much Hydra. Record scratch to a halt. And you can see them take a deep breath. And they turn around to look at you. And they look for a second like they were very worried about what would have happened to you. And then that expression melts away instantly into a big smile as they come back over to the counter. Oh, don't you look gorgeous? Oh, look at your fur. Oh. If I weren't stuck at work, I'd be brushing you for hours.
Tucker, when Rice goes quiet, Tucker also goes quiet and looks fairly anxious, like somebody about to get a performance review at work or something like that. But when Rice turns and the expression softens, Tucker just looks relieved and sort of shifts a little side by side to show off their body a little bit as Rice gushes a little bit, and
Jazz game show hands in the
With
background
jazz
as the camera zooms up. Yeah.
And
Ta-da.
all the while, though, Tucker has a soft expression and looks grateful for the attention, but there's also sort of a sad look in his eyes. He pauses for a second, and once Rice gushed a little bit, he expresses, it wasn't planned. I didn't go to the Cave of Mirrors. It happened because he thinks of the way to say it. While we were taking care of Corpse Fang.
Rise's expression sours. And they give you a very curt nod. I see. Well, I'm glad it's done with. It is done with, isn't it?
Yeah, done. He won't hurt anyone anymore. And then, like, Ralph will step back a bit, realizing he interrupted, but there's a bit of anger when he says, "Yeah, he won't hurt anyone anymore," and it kind of just blurts out.
Tucker doesn't look upset about the interruption, and Tucker gives a serious nod. It's notable that Tucker doesn't have anger in his face, though, not like Ralph. Yeah, it's done and over with. The Shadow Scavengers have disbanded, as far as we can tell. A few of them approached me afterward, and, well, they might be on a better path. Hopefully.
The feline's brow is furrowed. They nod again. I'm glad. And I'm glad that your closure is much better than mine. Anyway, you are home. They immediately put on a smile.
And Tucker
Let me make you
reciprocates.
something. Let me make you something, shall I? You all must be waiting to be debriefing Pangoro. Luckily enough, the chatty bird isn't here today.
Tucker perks up a little bit and goes, yeah, I love that. And I wouldn't mind some of that brushing too later, perhaps, he says with a little bit of a chuckle.
Maybe after work, if I have time. And if you want heading off immediately, of course.
We shouldn't. Oh. Tucker perks for a second and then expresses, I'm not here just for food for myself. Ryda got kinda hurt. They're resting in bed, but we're hoping that you get them something nutritious to eat.
Well, I can make them a berry salad, but that's the most nutritious thing I have.
That'll work. And something for Lyre as well, if you could. And, well, Tucker sort of points towards Puppy in case the little fella hasn't been noticed with all his bounding around. Or the banding around. And maybe a plate of bacon for this little guy, too.
Hot dog. 2 greens and a spoink, please. Oh, we're back to using code names, are we? By the way, Ralph and Tucker, you may make an insight contest perform if you wish.
Okay. Also, it's
Well-
inferred, but we have a lot of money, so money is no problem for paying for all this.
I mean, you all do get like 2 free meals a day at this point, if I recall right.
That's true. Oh, wow.
You are a lot more observant than I am.
Ralph doesn't notice. Tucker, you've been around Rise enough to know that that smile they put on is fake as heck. They are putting it on to make you not feel bad.
Oh.
It's not that they are not happy for you. But the whole situation regarding Corpse Fang was very upsetting for them, you remember. So it may be taking them a minute to just not feel certain things.
That doesn't surprise Tucker. I mean, Tucker and Rise did have a pretty deep talk about Corpse Fang before, along a number of episodes ago. And so, yeah, it's pretty obvious the smile doesn't get past Tucker, but he doesn't push on it or anything, and figures that Rise probably needs time to deal with that scenario just like he did.
Yeah, because for anyone who's forgotten, it's been many episodes since then, Rise needed to be physically withheld from going after Corpse Fang.
Yes, I recall that. I recall that Ralph was helping hold him back at first, and then when he pieced together what the goal was, he was ready to go. Like, he was ready to fucking go with him.
Yep. Pokemon thought that Rise was going to go after Riley. No, absolutely not. He was going after a certain Mightyena that is now very much unalived. And at this point, while Rise is cooking, it would probably be a good time for Brooke to arrive.
Oh, I'll say one thing as Brooke continues to type. Tucker knew that this would probably give Rise some complex emotions, but also figured, especially given how... I mean, I don't think Tucker was aware of Rise wanting to go out and do that. I think that Tucker wasn't there for that scene. If I remember correctly. The one where you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure only Ralph figured it out and kept it from everyone else because he didn't want to be stopped.
I'm pretty sure of everyone, it may have been only Ralph and Brooke who were there. And I'm not even entirely sure Brooke was there, but I know Ralph was there. Ralph held Rise back, and like there was this whole thing about, trying to stop Rise from repeating history, and they were like, why are you doing this? I want to go out and... Yes. Okay, so Brooke was there and also helping. But yeah, Rise was very upset that he was basically accused of going to attempt to repeat history when they wanted to go out and like put an end to that threat.
Mm-hmm.
It was an unacceptable threat for him, and he was being forced to be sidelines. Pangoro sidelined them and told them, no, you cannot do this. You are in a terrible state, and you will do terrible things if you let yourself go out like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, while Tucker didn't know that scenario, or that situation, Tucker did talk to Rise about Corpse Fang and stuff, because Tucker got hurt by Corpse Fang. So basically, Tucker's just said this now because, while he knows that Rise would probably feel complex things about getting this news, it just felt right to tell Rise, given that they've talked about it before. But yeah, that's all. Also, good night to India. I'm glad Rise didn't explode. Yeah, unfortunately, Rise did not use self-destruct. I don't even know if they can learn that.
Most Pokemon can learn Explosion, which Rise does not.
Oh.
I do also think that was around the time when Team Cheer found out that Rise basically acted as Team Pioneer's assassin. They were the one who did the dirty things and did what needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember if Tucker knows that bit.
I believe so.
I think that part came through, yeah. Doesn't change how Tucker trusts Rise.
No, indeed, indeed.
Oh, by the way, I really like how you just, on the fly, took the request that Tucker made and made a little diner lingo for it. That was really neat.
It's just one of those things that I've heard a lot of when it comes to shows like, say, Kitchen Nightmares. I've heard diner lingo before, and it's like, yeah, you know what, why not? And of course, Hot Dog would be snarky about it, like, why are we using nicknames now? Please stop.
One large Krabby Patty, make it swim, make it cry, extra grease.
Oh, God.
Anyway, Brooke's done.
Yes, Brooke. Brooke enters the clubhouse with a neat new dagger tucked into his belt. He gives a nod to a couple mons he recognizes inside before approaching the counter, giving Tucker a head rub. Hey folks, getting some lunch? He gives a grin.
Tucker does a bit of a waggle to that and also says, yeah, also getting some for Rida. And Liar.
Brooke's grin may not be as wide as usual.
Yep. Getting some food and waiting to report in. Oh, a sick new blade, by the way. Do I notice it, or do I have to roll to notice?
You probably don't have to roll to notice. Brooke did
Sweet.
not try to hide that at all, I would assume, because it is just stuck through their belt loop.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, sick new blade. Man, we just all getting sick new blades, and I'm gonna like brandish mine.
Yeah, more than Brooke's weapon, Ralph's weapon has been drawing attention, which has probably been very helpful for poor Tucker.
Mine's bigger. I'll wait till my while.
Mawile is not going to say anything. Instead, she's going to do like the whole supportive assistant showing off the sword to those that are staring.
We're such a darky couple. This is great.
I wonder, would Tucker smell the blood?
Probably. It wouldn't do to have you roll for that since it's such a fresh thing.
Okay.
It did get wiped off and the hand is bandaged, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, you could probably smell it a little bit. There are, however, a lot of kitchen smells too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good smells in here. But Tucker would notice it well enough to notice the Brooke's bandaged hand and comment, did something happen to your hand?
Reminder to the audience, remember to stretch.
And hydrate.
Heck yeah, Blaze just finished it for me, Brooke says. He chuckles. Maybe for now. I won't show off in here, though. It would be rude.
I guess this is a good enough time to show off the cart. I didn't actually zoom in on it or anything yet.
There is some very lovely art that does go with each form of the blade, too.
Yeah, I converted it into cart for it, and it's flippable, so... You'll have to explain that one later, because I don't understand that.
I'm betting we could save the explanation for when it gets used, because
Yeah.
I know it's going to get used.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our second flippy weapon card.
Yay, flippy weapon.
Brooke looks to Tucker. Oh, nah. Just a little ritual for finishing the weapon. I said so anyway.
Huh.
Oh,
Tucker
so
just
who did that with you? Rise interjects. They have prepared little to-go boxes for Tucker, like two boxes that are clearly marked with a pencil that say salad. And then there is a plate of bacon that gets slid onto the counter for Puppy.
Oh. Tucker almost takes a bite of the bacon before remembering it's for Puppy, and gratefully takes the two takeouts, puts it in his bag carefully, and then slides the plate down to the ground for Puppy. I'm gonna guess that Rise is cooking something up for Tucker too.
Oh, they will be.
Hmm.
You think they would let Tucker starve?
Tucker does want to get right of food soon, but we'll stick around for a meal too.
Alright.
Plus, they might
Go
need to be.
here.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, hold up, huh? Alright, nice. Alright. Yeah. Well, afterwards, Ralph went on. Well, I think we're all here. And I'll lower my voice. He'll lower his voice to continue. So how many details we given Panga Ganga? I mean, obviously we're gonna tell him the corpse fang is, but
He seems like he's having fun with the forge. He must have really missed it, Brooke says. If you guys need any metalwork done, he's got my permission to use it. As if he'd wait for permission. Then again, he seems to respect you. Not an easy thing to get these days, you know. Which, by the way, if Rise can overhear what Ralph is whispering, he's not making any sort of motion about it. There are enough pioneers who have to pick and choose what they tell Pangoro that's normal.
yeah. Yeah. There are plenty of secrets to go around. Not the least of which are his and Pangoro's anyway.
They don't got room to talk. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, respect is earned, Brooke says. If I've earned it, it's my honor.
Oh, to Ralph saying what should we talk about, Tucker will respond to that with saying, yeah, I'm not sure what's best. I suppose it's up to leader.
I'll look at Ralph. We'll of course answer every question he asks, he says.
I like how directly indirect that is.
Tucker nods.
Might I make a small suggestion? Rise smiles. They've come back to the counter from cooking again, by the way. They have made a sandwich for Tucker out of biscuits and folded up bacon. And what looks to be cheese.
Oh. Tucker looks almost starry-eyed over the food, and his stomach makes a very loud growl because as he's starting to really realize in the last 20 minutes of being here, he hasn't really eaten that much since evolving. So, he very gratefully takes the sandwich and basically just starts wolfing it down with some degree of trying to have manners, but hungry.
Oh, I was imagining Tucker just took it all down in one.
Politely taking it all down in one. Probably though.
I love cheese question mark.
Cheese? Cheese question mark? It goes so well with bacon.
But yeah, I think you're right though. I think Tucker just actually glumps it, probably not realizing just how big his jaws are. And the sandwich goes poof, and then this okay, does anybody know the Taco Bell dog video?
Yo quiero Taco Bell?
There's a dog that you shouldn't give a Taco Bell burrito to a dog, but there's this old video where somebody gave a Taco Bell burrito to a dog, and it's just snap, gulp, gone. And it's a kind of famous video if you may know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's basically that with the sandwich.
Nice.
And Tucker takes a second afterwards and oh that I ate that fast. But then still looks really happy though. It tasted real good, even if it was only for a split second of gulping. Thanks for the meal, he says.
You're welcome. And that comes to my point. You need to go get food to someone recovered. Why don't you just leave the debriefing to the others here? Mawile can take your place, as they just wave a forepaw toward Mawile, who stops their whole, showgirl showing off the great sword thing where she stands. She's got the whole, nervous look on her now with the sweat drops, because she knows Pangoro will interrogate her.
I'm guessing that statement was directed right to Tucker, right?
Yes.
Tucker contemplates that for a second, and gives Brooke a little look as well to see his thoughts on the matter. And I guess I'll hold it there for a second.
Yeah, Tuck. You can hang back. No worries. He smiles.
Tucker smiles as well, and gives a little nod. Alright, it's probably good that we get Ryder this food too. I'll make sure that Ryder's safe and sound, and keep an eye on them while you guys have this. Thanks, Rise. That's a good suggestion. Good luck with the debriefing, guys. And Tucker will take Puppy, who has probably finished that bacon by now, because it's bacon, and we'll basically head out of the clubhouse to
Also,
go boxes in tow.
Since the audience asked, Puppy has done their darndest to get every single strip of bacon in their mouth at one time. All the while you guys are talking, Puppy has been struggling to get every piece of bacon into their mouth all at once before consuming them. And it is just as messy as you think it is, and anywhere that there is baking crumbs, they have licked it clean by now.
Nah.
Okay, then in that case, Tucker probably has been slowly eyeing Puppy to make sure Puppy isn't choking during that. And then afterwards, Tucker, before leaving, Tucker will pick up the plate and put it back on the counter, grab a napkin, and just wipe the floor a little bit to make sure it's not messy.
Yeah, Rise is going to have to re-clean the counter again.
But yeah, boop, they're gonna go after that.
Excellent. But yeah, do not underestimate a child's desire to just shove everything delicious on their plate into their mouth at one time if they can.
It's not like Tucker serving is a good example.
Indeed. Oh man, like when you go, like that thing you do when you're a little kid where you go to the drink fountain and fill your cup up with every single thing on the fountain. And you pretend like it tastes horrible, but you pretend like it tastes cool because you think it makes it cool. Like, you pretend it tastes good.
It has so many unofficial names. I think I heard it called the trash bin once.
We used to call it suicide.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that one. Oh, there's a line.
Brooke takes a moment to breathe deeply before sighing. Alright, let's see if we can sum up what's happened. And he starts heading upstairs.
I'll head upstairs too, and I'll give this sort of half salute point to Rise. You keep up the good work, as he's wiping down the counter.
You're eating
We just
whatever
made up a
experiment I create with your fruit.
Ah, sweet.
Why does the way Rice says that not fill me with confidence?
I kind of shrug. Oh, they're gonna have to learn to eat what actually grows here at some point or another. As we're walking up the stairs.
That's entirely fair. But also, it is noodle fruit. All while not realizing how delicious squash can be.
Indeed.
Alright, well, you all are going to head up to Pangoro's office, which means I can swap over to Rida. I bet you thought I was going to let you just sleep away the session.
I certainly hope not. But I also didn't know exactly what Ryder could do.
Great, we're of the same mind. But yes, Rida, you are currently resting in Lizard and Riley's room, which is a little odd, perhaps, to you, considering it's something of a cylindrical space with, like, cots and things in it. I know we have an image somewhere of it that Kyrio drew. It was very good. But you are comfortable for the moment. And eventually, Tucker is going to come in with Puppy. Puppy, not having been allowed in this room before, is going to sniff everything.
Tucker will keep an eye on Puppy to make sure Puppy doesn't tear any pill cases up or anything like that. But most of his focus will be on seeing Rida. And Lyre's in the room too, right?
Yes, Lyre's in the room.
Are they sleeping or just kind of doing a little bit of resting Overwatch?
Lyre has fallen asleep in a very awkward position. Like, they've got their head partially leaning against the wall, but their antler is sticking there, so they can't get their head all the way. And so it's turned at what looks like should be a very uncomfortable angle, but they don't look like they're discomforted in their sleep.
Aww. Tucker sort of cocks his head at that, and just leaves Lyre be, though it seems to be working for them, so... And in that case, Tucker will quietly walk up to Ryda's bedside and just express, are you sleeping right now?
Ryda would have, like, opened their eyes and, like, turned to see you enter, sort of slowly rising to, like, sit wherever they were laying, just, like, upright. You see as, like, they move, they, like, definitely try and go slow and still wince a bit.
Tucker notes that and expresses, I'm glad you've been staying in bed. You can kind of push yourself sometimes too much.
I would prefer if I did not have to be in bed rest.
Well, hopefully not for too long. Here. Tucker pulls out of his bag the berry salads and gives one to Ryda and sets the other aside. The other one's for Lyre, but this is basically the most nutritious thing that rice could make up. It's a bunch of berries and stuff. It should help you feel a bit better, I think.
Ryda takes it and gently, like, holds it in their lap, giving a little nod and, thank you, Tucker.
Tucker smiles. Do you need anything else, or...?
Ryda will take a moment to think, looking around the room, and then down at their food. Perhaps you could bring me a bowl of water.
Of course, I could do that. And Tucker will turn to go get some water.
As Tucker goes and heads off, Ryda will start to eat their food, picking at it a little. They eat because, yeah, they're hungry, but also it's kind of like, I also don't want to eat at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh gosh, I don't know if this comparison's made, but Riley didn't eat food either. Just realized that.
Well, fair. But it is kind of hard to eat when, your chest has been impaled.
It probably hurts to swallow and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even something as easy as a berry salad. Which, by the way, the act of chewing the leafy bits does cause your jaw to hurt.
Oh.
Mm.
Not a lot, but it's notable.
Yeah, Ryder would probably eat as much as they need to sustain themselves and nothing more.
Well, that's fine. I don't think Tucker will have trouble getting... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, so the whole salad.
Darn, they have to eat. But yeah, they'll eat it all. If that's
Just
the
over
case.
time. Just take your time. You graze on it. It's a salad.
Mm.
But I don't think Tucker will have any trouble getting water. I don't remember if we have a running sink rate. I don't think we have any water, but it's easy to get water here in town, right? Or at least some drinking water. So, I don't think it'll take Tucker too long, is what I'm asking.
No, it won't take you long at all to get some drinking water available to you. Like, the easiest thing for you to do would probably be to go up to Brooke's little spring, of course. But you can always just go out to the oasis and make it work. And get a bucket of the fresh stuff.
That seems reasonable. Plus, they kind of need... A bucket of water would be good anyways, because honestly, Tucker's thirsty too. And want to make sure Puppy's being well hydrated. Hydrate everyone. But yeah, go get a bucket at the oasis and come back with it, and then put it in. Well, if we have a drinking glass or something, Tucker will use that for right now.
Ryder will express. Thank you, Tucker. There is no need to pour it into a glass or anything. The bucket is fine.
All right. And Tucker will leave you a portion of the bucket. And we'll once again ask, anything else you need? Or should I just leave you be?
Trying to think if there's anything that would be within reason for Tucker to get Ryder. Actually, maybe. Would you be able to deliver something or request something on my behalf?
Tucker tilts his head. Well, probably. I'm not going to the briefing. It's happening right now without us. So we have time.
Ryder will use their psychic abilities to move their bag over to them and rummage around inside, pulling out the Cerulege head and presenting it to Tucker. I had intended to ask Blaze if he could turn this into a helmet of sorts. I'm unable to at the moment, but would you be able to ask on my behalf? I'd be willing to pay as well.
Sure. I could ask about that. And Tucker will take this android head thing and put it in his bag. Yeah, I think I saw... Wasn't Blaze outside the club, technically?
They were outside your HQ, yes.
HQ. So Tucker saw. Yeah, okay. And Tucker will nod and say, yeah, I'll go talk to Blaze about that.
Thank you. How is the rest of the party?
Tucker thinks about that for a second. And then says, well, Ralph seems to be in the usual spirits. Brooke isn't... He thinks of how to say it. He's trying to put on a smile, but I can tell he doesn't really feel it.
I see. But physically, they are doing well, it appears.
Well, aside from the cut to their hand, but I guess that's a ritual or something? That's what he said anyways, when Blaze gave him his new weapon. So, I guess that's fine.
I suppose a ritual of blood makes sense for weapons.
Tucker thinks for a second. Also, wait, does Ryda know Rise? I don't know if they've ever met now, I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, Ryda's met Rise before.
Okay.
Right as
Tucker will also mention, I also filled in Rise about the Shadow Scavengers. He had some personal reasons for wanting to see them disband. Tucker seems to be watching his words as he says that. So,
And I presume they were glad to see... I presume they were glad to hear the news then.
Not entirely, but I think it closed something of a chapter for them, at least. They're happy to see me too. Surprised too. He sort of postures for a second. But they're sad too, I can tell. I think there's a lot going on in their head, just like with Brooke.
Ryda tilts their head inquisitively. They are remorseful that Corpse Fang has been eliminated.
I'm not sure if remorseful is the right word. Heck, given their past, they might have wanted to do it themselves. But, well, I'm sure everybody will cheer up eventually. Just need to keep moving forward. Tucker sort of... It's a heck of a read with that info. Yeah, kinda. Tucker sort of, if politely, kind of indicates that he doesn't really want to speculate anymore. And, he does give a sad smile, though. I guess we're all kind of feeling down, though.
I see. It is understandable. I'm not entirely sure what occurred while I was unconscious, other than your interaction with... I'm not quite sure.
Have we called it the butler in-game? I can't remember.
I don't know that you all have, like, named it.
I don't think
Yeah.
we have. That's why I just had to think about that for a
Like,
second.
the Butler and Mercury are names that they've been given, quote unquote.
Yeah, come
Well,
to
can it
think
be
of it,
like-
I can only recall Ralph describing them, but never actually naming them.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know what? We should treat it like the Pokemon games where we get the name our rival. Stinky, I should have known you'd be here.
Tucker thinks for a second and expresses, yeah, that thing. It's hard to really know what's going on when that thing's around. It messes with time. So it's hard to focus on it. At least that's how I feel.
A being that can manipulate time. Ryda, puts a hand to their chin, thinking.
It's frustrating. Every time it's showed up, I've wanted to act and do something, but it's always just caused us to stop. And we just have to watch what it does. Every single time. Tucker sort of sneers and growls a little bit at this.
So it's a freeze of time in which you are conscious of what's going on the exterior, but you cannot physically move.
Tucker nods and expresses, "This is why everybody's so down. Whenever they show up and do something, we feel like we failed. Because we can't stop them." If only there was some way that it couldn't freeze us.
Oh, if only Ryder could put 2 and 2 together, but they don't know that. Would they? No. Damn. Oh well.
Oh well.
What, about
Perhaps.
anathema?
No, the idea is basically like the Clockwork Butler working like one of the aspects sort of thing, and how the Lucario affected, Tucker when they were fighting.
Okay, yeah, no, that might
they couldn't
escape
put that
you
together.
at this very moment. Yeah,
And that probably escapes Tucker too. Ryder will find it notable that Tucker's been staying pretty strong though this whole time, but he does seem to get visibly angry as he talks about this for a second.
It appears we have to find a way to counteract this measure in case this creature comes back.
Tucker does a long... Yeah, I think so. If we're gonna make any progress on that thing and the other thing... He seems to hesitate to figure out what to call them. I think we need to stop that, somehow, one way or another. But... maybe it's something we could talk to Mewtwo about later. I don't know. For now, just, worry about resting up. And I'll find out what happened with the debriefing after they're done. Over there at the clubhouse.
Very well. And they'll give a little nod.
That seems like a great cue to go back over to the clubhouse.
One last thing. When Tucker leaves with Puppy, he has his shoulders sort of slumped, and he still seems tense. Tucker may be also willing to leave the room because he needs a moment to wind down finally for himself. And I'll cut it there.
I also have one more interjection.
Okay.
For after Tucker leaves, Ryda waits a good minute before looking towards the bucket of water, and they weren't exactly keen on staying still and doing nothing. So they're gonna glance over towards the bag with the shards of their orb, letting out a sigh and then looking towards the water. And they're gonna attempt to try and scry in the water.
What are you trying to scry?
Oh.
Well, they know where one thing's happening. That would be the meeting. Well, the briefing.
Okay, go ahead and roll your scry for me, please.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Clever,
Yep.
clever, Ryda.
Ryda is not keen on sitting there doing nothing, especially after what happened.
Oh, I like this.
A neat little dupe. Harmless enough one. Two.
Well, you didn't botch. That is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Your time and privacy, too, is good enough.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's certainly not as easy as it was with the orb, though. It feels like for some reason, it almost feels like you're learning how to do it all over again. Because you were so used to using the orb that using other mediums just didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But the water eventually stills completely and becomes like a flat pane of glass on its surface. And you can see the meeting as it takes place.
Being part psychic, can I tell the visual connection is there?
You may make an insight survival channel, we'll say.
Okay. That makes sense
That
to
was
roll
my
for,
guess,
because
too.
you're a little distracted with everything else going on.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious to see if I can be privy to it without.
Oh!
Damn.
So,
Ralph senses the force.
you get the feeling that you're being watched as everyone eventually moves into Pangoro's office. You're not sure from where, but you know that you are being watched remotely. And it's a sensation you're familiar with. It can't be Mewtwo, because you've never felt Mewtwo watching you remotely.
Yeah, I feel like like stealth skills are higher than I could discern. But yeah, I won't say anything.
Sorry to mislead you, Tucker, about the water.
It's okay, I think it's kind of neat. Interesting little flavor text.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, a majority of Team Cheer, plus Mawile, go into Pangoro's office. And he's there. He's not sitting at the moment. In fact, he's currently doing a little bit of pacing, just looking through a stack of papers he's got in his hand, flipping through them. Team Cheer reporting in, boss, Brooke says, looking at him pace about. It's a bad time. We can go to Events 146. This one's a bit loud.
Okay.
Not one we've really used before. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think it's new, actually. As far as what one's only used.
No. Perfectly fine, Brooke. Glad to see you're back so soon. Do you have any word from the Mesa? As he sets the sheaf of papers down. It has some official guild seals on it. Oh, thank you. I forgot to change that.
I just randomly remembered.
Not just yet. We had a couple complications. But we fulfilled V and Mawile's missions and returned for a resupply. We had Ryda teleport us back, and once they've rested, we might be able to return the same way. So, theoretically, no time lost.
Useful. Not many psychic types can do such long-distance teleportation.
Pangoro's gaze rakes across the rest of you. That the rest of you being Ralph and Mawile.
Tiny wave.
Mawile mimicking Ralph's tiny wave in sync. I'm not sure if it's made it back here yet, but on our way through the prairie, we were attacked by the scavengers.
Oh. Yes. And as it so happens, that got Chatot off her back for a bit. The Lord himself came down from his perch. It certainly got the bird to shut up for a few days.
Pangoro has a wry smirk. Glad to hear it. And as you might already know, Corpse Fang is no longer an issue, Brooke says. And relatedly, Tucker has evolved. He's tending to Ryder right now, otherwise he'd probably like to show off. He smiles.
Well, congratulations are in order. And given the lack of somber faces, it seems that everything went well with her evolution. Good. We could use more strong, reliable pioneers. That said,
He raises an eyebrow, smiles slowly dipping into his customary frown.
what exactly are you here to debrief me of otherwise? You don't exactly need Mawile and Ralph here for this.
Squints.
Well, since I've been addressed, Ralph will be like, well, I have some good news. So, that Chatot's been grilling our town over why we ain't growing stuff. Well, I brought back some of the noodle fruit from the prairie to grow here. Because, hello, why are we trying to grow stuff that don't grow here from other continents when there's stuff that already grows here? Sure, it might not taste as good, but it'll be something, and at least the little noisemaker can write something down on her clipboard that we're growing.
I thought it was his clipboard.
Yeah, sure, whatevs.
Agreed. I don't think it necessarily matters too hard right now. All right, that explains you. He nods towards Ralph. Which, by the way, Ralph, as soon as you said you had a good idea, Pangoro made a face where just, like, the eye lines that are where his eyes are and his mouth all became perfectly horizontal lines. Just that expression of, oh god, what is it now?
So I had an idea, instantly ages a year and 1 second.
Yup, just aged an extra year.
I love
Exactly, Hydra.
I love how happy and proud Ralph is. He's pitched this like 3 times in this one session. He's so proud of himself for the Doodle Fritz.
Yeah.
It's an accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised, I haven't been told by the NPCs, oh, we tried to grow it, but it won't grow in town or something.
Well, he's been told that people don't like it, but I guess Ralph's response to that is, well, too bad, get used to it.
Yeah, this is
Exactly.
where you chose to live. This is what grows
Exactly.
here.
Well, I appreciate your agrarian efforts, Ralph.
He slowly tilts to the side a bit as he notices the sword.
Oh, boss new sword, ain't it? And I'll unsheath it to, hold it aloft a bit. Yes,
I
prize claimed from our latest slain big bad. And I'll retrieve it.
I'm gonna wait to see what Brooke has to say.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bending of truth, that one.
Not a big bending of truth. Technically, Ralph isn't lying.
Not a lie exactly, but...
I was just very, very vague.
I do hope, we have a moment of pause. I hope everyone in the audience is having a good day today. Things have been up and down for some people, I know, so I hope you're all doing good. That's a good question, Wolf. I think that'll probably come up a little bit later in the narration. But...
And yes, I'm aware of your question. That will come up, I'm sure.
What Kyrio's typing, I can vocalize this. Yeah, I'm trying my best to make Ryda's voice a little less monotone, but still keep that somewhat.
Yeah, I think I noticed you. It's a little bit softer, I guess. Like there's a little bit more, like maybe a teeny bit of warmth in there and stuff. So I think you're doing a good job adjusting. Because I know you mentioned how you wanted to kind of transition the voice because of Tucker's efforts and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Also, the voice is easier to do when it's not monotone.
Oh, that's good then. That'll make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Brooke kind of rubs his head. Well, we found a ruin underneath the ruins Mawa wanted to explore. It definitely seemed human in origin, Brooke says. Pangoro puts a hand on his desk to lean on it. There is an audible creak as he places more weight and pressure upon the furnishing.
And that explains why you are here.
He glares at Mawile, who is sweating bullets currently. Yeah. It may have gone a little further than I intended.
but we learned a lot, she says with the most awkwardest of smiles.
She's being so careful to pick the words.
Give her a nice pat on the back. Kiss on the cheek.
This is helping bolster her confidence. It has not changed her expression. She has to be
So-
delicate with this information.
I couldn't imagine being Pangoro and it's like these guys being like, yeah, so we're in like having to hear one team be like, oh man, and then this arrow flew at us, and if it was like an inch to the left, it would have hit the crystal and left an enormous crater south of the town. And then we come in and tell them this.
If you recall the creature I described when we cleared Shaman Island, you encountered them again there, Brooke says. And they took something from it after they waited for us to open the way. I'm not sure why, but I'm worried about it. Brooke seems particularly sour about the idea that he was used in that way. Pangoro eases up on the desk, standing a bit more upright, adjusting his bancho coat, in case anyone forgot that he actually has one now. I see. So your enemy, our enemy, has once again used us as a stepping stone. Ugh, I hate that sort. There isn't terribly much you can do to preempt them, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Not for now. Well, given this new information, should I be sending a team to scour the ruin? Brooke comes non-committally. In response to not having to worry about it for now, which probably does not sit well with Brooke at all, I'm sure.
Poor Brooke.
I should note that when Pangoro asks that, Ralph looks directly to Brooke for the answer. Like, should we send someone? I'll look directly at Brooke for the answer as well.
Just that little oh shit moment of,
The charisma checks have gone beyond my ability to succeed. It's up to you.
I don't think we need to worry too much about the ruin itself. There's not much of use to regular Pokemon there, Brooke says. That said, the Oranguru and his cohorts, unless you're specifically saying the wrong species, by the way, that guard the ruins seem to have disappeared. So that might be worth a look. An Oranguru. Odd. He begins to sort of sift through the papers on his desk. Oh, here it is. We have a report of an Oranguru out on the prairie. odd place for them. Usually they're in a forest. They're leading a group of other Pokemon, but where, we couldn't tell.
That's definitely an interesting bit of information.
Hmm.
They seemed devoted to guard the ruin, but they had abandoned it completely after we went in, so I have no idea what's going on. I don't want to think poorly of them, if they're involved with those things somehow. If they're involved, then they are a problem, Pangoro says decisively as he sets down the report. I will have the active teams looking out for them. If they are seen again, it will be reported.
And if they're not up to anything nefarious, then they don't have anything to worry about.
Given your encounter, not to mention their apparent abandonment of their duties, I'm going to assume that I need to at least put silver teams on this. Bronze and below have no business dealing with such Pokemon. Seems good. Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry, just making sure I've got it all. Seems good. I'm not sure what else they might be hiding. I feel it's better to not engage unless we have to, for now. Agreed. And that is going to be part of the order. Unless they act hostile towards the team, they shouldn't engage. When a group is an unknown, observation is the best course. As much as certain elements would prefer to act first. And he looks up at Ralph and Brooke as he goes to sit at his desk.
Say, you still got that defunct ball toy?
Wasn't that supposed to be in your care a while?
Oh, that's right. We did move it.
Yeah, it's still in the workshop.
Right.
Well, if you learned anything, I expect you'll report it.
Give a little salute. I am in flat screen mode, but in VR because I still can't find my my microphone.
Oh, I didn't know you were on VR.
Yeah. I'm sitting in the little Steam VR hub with like the flat screen floating in front of me.
Well, as long as that works.
Yeah, I still cannot find my desktop mic.
What a weird one.
I have no clue.
Oh, so I see that. I hate to said in the other chat. I just remembered something I need to ask about. So, yeah, feel free anytime. I think.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
It was more along the lines of, hey, I just remembered that I used the mark on the Lucario. Is that still active?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yo.
Do you want to try and find out?
Because, well, yeah. Because at most it tells me general direction of where they are.
Can you do that while still actively scrying? I assume the scrying for the meeting requires you to kind of sustain it.
Yeah, I figured I'd basically check that after the meeting.
That makes sense.
Because it just occurred to me now, like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, did you even
If I can
tell?
still do this.
Did anybody know that you placed a mark on it?
I don't think so, because I didn't declare it or anything. It's not like there's a visible indicator that I marked someone.
It's probably good you didn't declare it, because then it could have been removed, maybe. Like, oh, we gotta get rid of that. Because I don't know, the butler could probably do that too.
Yeah, they might have been watching.
Hey Ryda,
Mhm.
remind me after this meeting finishes that you want to check that.
I was gonna wait, but I figured we had some downtime. And that's why I wanted to wait, because I'm like, this is gonna be a whole ordeal.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's good to bring it up in between Kyrio's typey posts. Because that way, because I imagine it also makes it a little less pressureful for Kyrio if there's something going on while they're typing anyways.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't mind-
kind of
we
why
never-
I
we
made
never
idle
mind waiting.
chit-chat.
Yeah, I don't chit cat. Shit. Kitties. I said cat, but chit cat.
Yeah, I was just looking over my stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, Mark of Justice. Wait a minute, I marked the Lucario, didn't I? I should be able to... I want to know if that's still active, because if it is, then that means technically I know which direction they are in.
That actually is really valuable information, so good way.
Yeah.
Good job remembering that.
I think that's basically it. Oh, that mansion that V was interested in is basically free to explore now. It was a little haunted, but not anymore, Brooke says, giving a placating grin. Yes. About that. He leans one elbow on his desk, propping his face up with one hand, looking displeased. I take it you all are the ones that we have to thank now that we have two babysitters.
You're very welcome. And I say it with exactly that amount of gremlin in my voice.
Brooke averts his gaze a little. Mawile just hums to herself, rocking back and forth, trying to look innocent. I will not look a gift rapidash in the mouth. But I have had to repeat 3 times for them to stop changing the room.
Oh, yeah, they got that power. Made exploring the mansion real fun. Real creepy, too. One trapped me in a cave. But, other than that,
I will have an associate go speak with V to negotiate over the real estate.
Oh, and I hold up a finger. There's also imported soil there, like good soil. So you could probably, send a bunch of gardeners over there, pull up a whole bunch of weeds, and make it be a remote garden forward operating base type deal.
As V was so kind to relay to me when they came back. So yes, we are interested in it. Unfortunately, I'm not certain who to send for negotiations. And before you suggest it, without even looking at Ralph, he just points at the Snorlax. We are not sending the Kaphagrigus. They are not a pioneer, and I know your mind by now.
That would be pretty funny.
Wow, I didn't realize Pangoro could become psychic too.
That would be pretty funny. I'm thinking once it's a proper forward operating base for the guild, there should be statues of all of us there. Yeah, so we can properly pay tribute.
Wow. Also, the way you said that is like forward operating garden. What is this, Plants vs. Zombies? When you don't need a forward operating garden. That's silly.
That's a forward operating base / garden.
It's a very weird mix, is all I'm saying.
We might have convinced a lonely Bayonet that we had kids here that needed caretakers, Brooke says. But I honestly thought it'd be a good fit for them. Me failing to do Brooke voice at the end there. Good fit for them.
I raise a hand. Yours my idea.
I don't care whose idea it was. Because it's working. The only thing I
Score.
want is for them to stop changing the architecture. That's it.
It's just a little redecorated.
Tucker calls it redecorating. I'm so glad you're not there, because Pangoro would have given you such a look.
We'll talk to them, boss, Brooke says. Unnecessary. But I appreciate the offer. Because ghosts happen to not do so terribly well against dark types. He smiles. Is there anything else? No, I don't think so. I think that just about covered everything.
Yeah, Ralph kind of counts on his finger. Let's see. Killed Corpse Fang, explored the ruins, explored the mansion, planted the fruit. Yeah, yep, I think so.
We'll be taking a few days to recover before heading back toward the mesa, Brooke says. Understood. Given your report, you've been through much in a short period of time. But such is the life of any who explore. Take your rest. Yes, sir. Team cheer, let's move out, Brooke says. Mawile too.
So glad to be included. As she passes by the desk to leave, feeling Pangoro's looming shadow over her.
Follow her out, yeah.
Just the whole, oh gosh, I have dodged so many metaphorical bullets.
Once we're out of earshot. Huh. Seems like you've been in the hot seat before.
Let's just say when a guild leader gets serious, you want to be on their good side.
Oh, yes, for sure, for sure. I'm on Pingo Jingo's bestest side.
You keep telling yourself that, Ralph.
And after a short chuckle, I'm probably not as afraid of him as I should be.
Brooke takes a moment and sighs. Does it get to a point where it doesn't feel bad to make a mistake? He asks Pangoro. No, he says after thinking for a minute. It never feels good making a mistake, Brooke. But what matters isn't how you feel about the mistake. It's what you do after. That's something that you all will need to remember. Brooke takes a moment to absorb that and nods, closing the door behind him. Excellent. So where are you all going now, if I may ask? I know that Mawile may be a bit eager to get back home, because there are many things to work on.
Well, I noticed that Ralph brought up the ball toy. So does Ralph want to go back and do something with the ball toy?
Yeah, Ralph will go back with Mawa. Might not do the thing with the ball toy immediately. But Ralph is eager to get back with him.
All right. Mawile is going to be interested in taking some time to relax and then do the science collaboration thing with Ralph. And it seems like Brooke is going to move along a certain timeline. Thank you. And I can put Rise away too.
Okay.
And I noticed that people were mentioning, what happened to the other two ghosts? They are also at the daycare.
Yep, they're kind of a little family unit.
Aw. Which, by the way, happy birthday, Kyrio. I know I didn't mention it before, but happy birthday to you.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
I wish it was going better for you with the whole power thing, but I'm glad you can go out and have a nice birthday present dinner, because that's a nice thing. Even if home stuff isn't going well, if you can go off drive and have a nice little time doing something, that's still fun.
And before I explain what happened with Brooke, of course, we're gonna shift over to Ryda.
Yippee.
So Ryda, you want to turn your attention to the mark.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a direction when you think about it.
Damn it.
It is distant. You know that much. Are you going to try and scry?
Yes, I am. Because, yeah, why not?
Okay. Oh, there goes Mala.
Pigo Eepy.
My thinking is basically, after learning to scry with the bucket of water, right, is like, I wonder if I can do this with, other other parts of my abilities. And thinking back to the mark they put, they realize that this sensation's a bit too low for them to detect where exactly they are, but perhaps this new form of scrying could help.
That's a lot of force.
And my god, Rydas, they're really putting everything into this.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to do that.
You're like, it'll fail anyway. Rolls 8 successes. Oh, I guess it doesn't fail.
You got a cozy place to concentrate.
Ryda is very determined.
I hear the
You
visible
are
pause.
filled with determination.
Sometimes you can tell when the DM's like, oh, I didn't really expect that. Let me think of something for this.
Yeah.
D334.
I love causing that.
Oh.
I did the thing.
Which one? Dungeons 334?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to leave the name redacted on the list.
Okay.
Praise be our in Jesus. Smiling upon me today.
Oh, this song.
So, Ryda, you decide to extend your power and scry on that creature. It's not nearly so difficult as you thought. As you find the vision in the glassy surface of the water flies upward, streaks of light and darkness as you leave color behind. And for a moment there's a flicker of static, and you are in a metallic structure, gleaming metal and pulsing light lifeblood. It's there, standing before what appears to be some sort of viewing window, gazing down on a cerulean curve. The edges of this vision are tinged with static, and the water begins to ripple and roil. And just as your scrying fouls, the creature turns towards you. Its new organic eye gazes back at you. The glossy surface fades into roiling static, and then is suddenly flat again. Flatter than before, almost as if it's been converted to metal or ice. A single word on the surface. Waiting.
Huh.
Ugh.
Ryda simply stares at this, contemplating. trying to basically go through their memory, analyzing every detail they can about this to like ingrain it fully. And just pondering on the word waiting.
Is it written in a language Ryder knows? It is!
I wonder for what they are waiting for.
Ryder, make an insight contest channel.
Insight contest channel. That's pretty good for me.
Also, I decided to turn the song off when it ended.
I was not expecting this at all. I thought they were gonna be like some cave or something. Not okay.
The word fades away, and the water resumes normal water things. And you are caught by a flash of terror as you feel a presence behind you. As though something of power looms just behind.
Ryda doesn't move, doesn't turn. Mainly for concern that if they do any action, this could result in something bad. So they simply express, I know you are there. What do you want?
A pair of hands. One hued in swirling pink, and the other hard steel. Crossed over your vision, blinding all else. A strange, metallic voice reaches your ears. Sweet dreams.
Thick.
You blink, and it vanishes.
Wow.
Ryda quickly turns their head to look where the creature was, seeing nothing and taking deep breaths.
L8.
Okay. And apologies if there was
Oh,
an ad
no.
break in the middle of that. You can always trust ads to pick the worst possible moments to run, but don't worry, there's always a recording.
Yeah.
Did you say L18? Oh, I guess there's only one L.
Yep, L8. So thank you, Hydra, for those little chat callouts.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm gonna say we're gonna end it a little early today.
Okay.
We could go a little longer, but I need to make dinner. And I know Kyrio has birthday dinner to get to. And this seems like a good place to stop this time.
Yeah, randomly, Ryder just rolled for climactic event, so.
Yeah, I think I may have made an oopsie, and now someone, uh-oh. I'm not happy about the sweet dreams part. Well, time for more nightmares.
Yes, we should explain the events of Brooke's things first. I apologize. We do need to do that.
But I guess
So-
it's a good reason to end a little early, so we can do that before we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, Brooke went out to go sort of hang out by the gate and think about a few things. And much to their surprise, eventually, Deadeye comes out of the tall grass, dragging a Rhydon that he hunted with him. And Brooke ends up helping Deadeye drag this into the Pioneering Club so that it can be used for food. And Deadeye offers Brooke a drink because Brooke looks like shit. There's no other way around it. And they share a drink, they get to talking, and then Deadeye just sort of ends up taking the rest of the bottle, and they go back off to the Team Cheer headquarters, to Brooke's room, to drink and chat and have a friendly time. And maybe discuss things that may or may not happen. And certain Croconaws are feeling at the moment that they don't feel they can really talk to anyone else about. For those that are interested in details, it is on the Discord server.
Yeah, I chat with the mentor over a couple of cold ones. I like it.
Just check the Ken RP channel. And also the Brooke channel also has other lore you can read on the server.
Indeed.
I just realized the unfortunate timing of this. Ryda is definitely going to like barge out of their room and try and look for Brooke immediately after this.
Yep, and they are not gonna find Brooke.
Uh-oh.
They sure are not gonna find Brooke. But they might find a Tucker.
Oh, that's probably true. I guess I should go ahead and say that after leaving Ryder's room, Tucker would actually take a second just to idly play with Puppy in the clubhouse before going and doing the Smith activity that he was tasked with, just to calm down, because he was kind of letting his emotions come out finally, which he wasn't really doing because everyone else was feeling so bad that he was kind of just not. He wasn't interacting with his own emotions over everything that happened, so he takes a little bit of therapy time with Puppy before going to the Smith. So
Before going where?
To Blaze, because Ryder requested that.
Ah, yes. Which means Tucker's spending time with Puppy, and then Ryda's going to barge out in a panic, and you're not even going to have gone anywhere, I don't think.
Probably not, no.
It's like, I left for 5 minutes, what happened?
So yeah,
well, time would have passed because, well, I guess it depends how long Tucker was playing for and how long the meeting was.
Yeah, it depends on how long the meeting was, and then also the event after the meeting that Ryder rolled for. I don't know how long the meeting really was. Tucker probably left. Probably left just a little bit before you had that event.
Okay.
Be pretty easy to find Tucker, though, given that. Okay, Kyrio's in going to take a shower and going to have a birthday dinner. Thanks for the game too, Kyrio. Please have a nice dinner. Wonder where he's going to eat. There's so many good places.
Thank you, everyone, for the lovely game. And
yeah,
I'm highly amused that Ryda is just going to be like, I want to find Brooke. Brooke, out, and then out cold. They will not even be present until tomorrow, and boy, I don't know if Ryda panicking is a good thing for a hangover Croconaw to be dealing with.
That's probably good that Tucker's gonna probably have the first interaction with panicking Ryda then.
Indeed. Everybody gets 2 experience. I will add Brooks.
Okay.
Which they had
Do I
0.
get extra for contacting the extraterrestrials?
Not this time.
I was really not expecting that. I thought at most it would just be like, oh yeah, you get the general gist that they're north. You know, I didn't expect to like fully see.
Well,
You know,
I did tell you general direction, distance, and I asked you, do you want to scry? And you went, you know what, sure. And I'm like, okay. And I was perfectly prepared for you to like botch or roll low, and instead you rolled like 8 successes, and I go, you know what, okay. The dice decided you get Rita getting literal spoilers.
That was a good future singer.
it does give the intrigue of, ooh, you see, this is what we're working up to. You got a little snippet. Now you're gonna come back to see how it actually goes.
Yeah. I wonder if Ryder's gonna just charge out of the room and just leave Liar sleeping over against the wall. I just realized.
Oh yeah, Liar. Ryder's gonna look over at Liar and be like, okay, he's fine. I need to find Brooke immediately, and just like start hoveling as fast as they can.
Oh.
Rita gets out of their trance, not realizing they passed out with a hand in the bucket. Or like passed out, like half slumped over the bucket, and they woke up because their head dunked in it. Meanwhile, they look over at Liar, peacefully munching on berry salad.
Yeah, because Ryder's like, oh fuck, I need to tell Brooke about this immediately. They don't find Brooke anywhere. Oh fuck, what did they do to Brooke?
Oh no.
Just the internal screaming becomes external screaming. Oh, and there's things. There's things for Tubby to do. There's things for Ralph and Mawile to do. Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, Ryder got more action this session than I thought they would.
I made a concerted effort to ensure that you were included. I was not going to let you sit out a whole thing.
I guess I kind of did too. It was a little bit spontaneous. I was like, you know what, Tucker probably would open up to Ryder because it's just a peaceful place to kind of express something. So, so yeah, I guess effectively, I also gave Ryder more to do.
Meme is related.
But yeah, my two ideas were either, hey, Ryder's gonna try doing that Mewtwo thing. I did not control the die.
I do not control the die.
But yeah, my original idea was, hey, Ryder might try to do that Mewtwo projection thing while they're in bed, so, you know, they can actually do stuff outside of the room. And then it came, oh, Tucker's giving them food. What if they tried scrying using water, and Tucker could give them water, so, you know, it gives them something to do, even if they're somewhat confined to a room.
Yeah.
And it was very effective.
This was a really good 10 episode. A lot of interesting things happened. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed. Sorry it was a little bit shorter than normal, though I think it was still a very good session. I partially blame that on my crash. I'm sorry about that. We started a little bit later because of that, but all the same, stuff happens. It's okay. We had a good session, so it doesn't matter. And I hope that Kyrio has a good birthday evening, and I hope everyone else has a good night. But yeah, that was session 144 of Pokerole, and session 145 of Pokerole should be in 2 weeks. And I say should be because at some point we should be moving too. So I'll let you guys know when that conflicts with Pokerole, because that will probably stop a session from happening. Maybe 2 if we're unlucky, but I'll keep you guys updated on that when that comes into play. We're still kind of looking at places and trying to figure out a schedule of what's going on, but I will keep you guys updated. But yeah, that was session 144. I'll see you guys in another 2 weeks, and thanks again for watching and playing. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.